random anger in just the general sense, because that is like, it's fuel.
Yes.
You know, when it just that thought pops in your head and you just like, why am I angry? Oh, that's why you have a direction to point that anger to.
Yes. Or you have hormonal shit going on, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah. Which, as I told you earlier, last night, that's exactly what happened to me. He asked to use my computer, and I was like, no. Hello, and as a writer, all of you writers out there, know your computer is your, haven, your safe space, your heaven. When somebody says, "Oh, we'll just use your computer," like,
don't touch it.
I'm writing. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I don't think I'm more overprotective of anything in my house as I am my computer.
Yes, exactly. So, and normally I'm calm. And I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. But last night I became like this raving bitch. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? It's like when he said he was gonna. I haven't said nothing, but he said he was gonna use my computer for his Bible study on Wednesday nights, and I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I have to write.
My dead body, you are.
But I might just say, okay, I might use Wednesday nights as my reading night. But yeah, no, when he ever said that one too, it's just like I was able to mute the response. He's like, I don't want to use my work computer, and then half of it I won't have a work computer. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, that's your fucking problem.
All right, show of hands from our audience. Who here is very overprotective of your writing computer?
Me.
I don't let anybody touch my computer. My kids try and jump on for something. I'm like, nope. Just get your phone, Google it.
Yep, exactly. I'm like, he's got an iPad. He can use his iPad. I'm like, no.
And my kids do have their own laptop that they can use. So it's not like they don't have something, but yeah.
And I have older laptops. I'm not sure you can get online with them. I'm not sure that they have the video stuff, but he could use this camera and the headphones. But I'm like, yeah. So I think he's thinking that we need computers much quicker than what he was originally thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, if I was still in the writing slump, it'd be like, oh, here, fine.
Nope.
But no, I'm on a roll, and I'm like,
even for me, even then, if I'm not writing, my computer is my work computer. It's the lifeblood of my job.
Right.
That's it. Nobody touches it, because if anything were to happen to that computer, everything falls apart.
Right.
So I can't afford that. And I always tell my kids, I would rather not be angry at you for something happening because you were the one who touched it when that something happened. Even if they weren't the cause. Like, I don't want to be angry at you. So just don't touch it.
Yes. Exactly. And I have let him use my computer for certain things, but it's 10 minutes, not 2 hours. And last night to watch the Packers game.
Sorry, not a sports fan.
I mean, admittedly, I do like football, but it's background noise while I'm doing stuff. It's always been, unless it was the Patriots, with Tom Brady.
You're just like, understandable.
So, but yeah, he'll learn.
I actually unearthed an old favorite to help me write the other night.
Yeah.
I was working on a project for a client. It wasn't my own project.
Yeah.
And I needed that background noise.
Yeah.
But I didn't want us to listen to music. I needed something that was just in the background, very familiar. you know, something that I don't have to listen to. And I brought Lord of the Rings back up again. And you know what? I watched the entire Two Towers, or listened to the entire Two Towers while I was working on the project, and I got a lot done, and it felt good. I hadn't been in the zone like that in such a long time.
That's good. That's really good.
And that, my kids will tell you, or at least my oldest one would, that used to be on repeat. Like if I was working on certain things, it could be on repeat for like a week straight.
Oh wow!
Because it was just that I don't know what
it is.
It's like
white noise in the background.
But it evokes a certain feeling.
Okay.
And I needed to zone into that feeling to get in the zone. And I would literally play the same movie over and over and over and over while I'm writing until I was done. And then maybe I would change. It's very OCD of me.
Well, my issue with that is if it's something I liked, you know, my eyes would go up to the movie. And I get sucked into movies the way I get sucked into books when I'm reading. I can't have that in the background. So I commend you for having that. I have to have music or Darren playing the guitar in the other room. That's perfect for me when he does that.
That said, it is like the 120th time that I've seen the movie. So I'm not actually needing to look up because I know what's going on. I've seen it so many times.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I've literally watched that movie hundreds of times. Actually, I've watched all three, the trilogy, 100 or more times. So I don't actually have to look up. I can see it in my head. I've seen it so many times. Well, and that's probably why it works.
The visual thing, for me is the capture. Because I guess I'm a visually stimulated person in that manner. So having the music in the background, I don't even hear the music.
Now I can I can use soundtracks too. Nothing with lyrics. Lyrics bother me.
Okay.
I can't concentrate if there's lyrics because I'll want to know what they're saying.
Okay. Sort of like with Anita is just like me with that because I can't use movies as background. Yeah. You know,
again,
sports
only
are good.
This is only movies that I've seen so many times that I could visualize the whole thing in my head. I don't have to look up.
Yeah.
It's a rarity, which is why that's one of the selections that I'll pick when I need to get in the zone, because anything else, I'm like, wait, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, I know. That's cool though. So have you done any of your own writing, or are you still no?
And I'm still blocked on that 5th book, which is over halfway written.
Okay.
It could be finished, but I can't seem to get past that block. Every time I open it, my mind just shuts off. I don't know why. I've never had a block like this on a series or any book that I've written. It's like I just can't.
Well, I mean, I went almost 6 months without really writing this year. Actually, between last year and this year, because I was just, life got in the way. But yeah, it's. I
had this book half written in 2018.
I know.
And that's how long this block has been going on. And I've tried opening it up and rereading stuff and getting motivated. And nope, my mind will not work. I don't know what it is. What's stopping me?
Have you written anything else? Or are you still hung? Okay.
Not
I was going to say, maybe do a little bit, even a short story, maybe doing a little bit of that, or, even flash fiction for you, just a little, I know I hate flash fiction. You and I are the same on that. But, writing something for yourself, you might get back into it. I know I have a bunch of these things I want to finish for these series. Yeah.
Anita says I had a block and it broke out of the blue in the dentist's office.
Did you have happy gas? Sorry.
Maybe that's the clue.
Yeah.
See, I can't do flash fiction because I'm too wordy.
Yep.
I can't cut it down. I'm like, oh, but I need to explain this. It's like the ADHD thing. Long story short is never long story short. We all go off on tangents to explain it. Same thing with flash fiction for me. I can't tell the short story. I got to tell you everything else that happened
too. Yeah. Are you doing NaNoWriter month again? Or no? Okay.
No, I've got to focus on picking up clients and paying the bills. Yeah. So I will be again focused on getting client work and trying to make sure that I'm maintaining that.
Yeah.
And generally, it doesn't leave much room for writing for myself because a lot of the focus is spent on gaining the clients and working for them rather than the quiet moments that I need to work.
Right. And it's at this point, at this juncture in your life, it's more important to pay the bills. So,
and we're at the start of the school season, so there's all the donations they want. We did the school supplies. Now they need other stuff, and it's still the expensive part of the year. So bills are definitely the precedent right now.
Yes.
Keeping the head above water.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out where and when the flow comes in after the next 9 days. The next 3 weeks. Yeah. Actually, it's going to be 2 weeks and then 1 day because the last 2 days are going to be, in the office and completely not working. I know.
Syndrome.
Yeah, well, it's exactly. And they're
short timer syndrome. That's what it is.
Short timer. Yes. And they're having a party for us. And I think there's our list was over 200 people.
Oh my goodness.
We know a lot of the same people because we've worked in a lot of the same circles. So for both of us, a lot of people are like, no, don't go. I keep getting that. I'm like, sorry. Sorry, honey.
Settle down for you. Then you'll figure out where your groove is.
Yes, exactly. And like today, I wrote from 1 until 4. It was funny. He was over at the neighbors and he came and he banged on the wall right when I was in a really intense scene and I jumped. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Nope.
But they were all laughing. They thought it was funny.
That's
the writer.
That's start a fight.
So soon after that, I wrapped up and I went over there. But if I can, at least have some time for the, social media crap that you have to do as an author. If I didn't have to do that, I don't think I'd be on there right now. And then finite period to write. And then the rest of the time have fun. That is what I have to get my mind geared into. Because now with the full-time work, although with the part-time work, it's been kind of weird. With the full-time work, I used to, stop work and then start writing because I only had from 5 to 11 to do dinner, do whatever we're doing, do my social promotions, and then write.
Okay.
And, that was 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours a night that all of that had to fit into. So, and then weekends I'd be writing, or if we're up here, I'm sitting outside, I'm not writing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything on the computer because I don't want to be inside when it's so beautiful out.
Yeah, I hear that. For me, I found the best situation is all the crap that I hate to do, all that social media stuff and paperwork and any organizational stuff, whether I'm doing it for myself or for clients. That is best done during the day for me.
Okay.
Nighttime for me is still the creative hours. And so I try and structure my day accordingly. Like when the kids are at school, I've got a 4 to 5 hour window between pickups where, okay, this is the time when I can get the organizational stuff done. If I have to do any posting, if I have to do, anything that needs to be done that's not writing, that gets done then. And any writing that needs to get done happens usually that same time as my kids go to bed. Those hours from 9 to midnight or 9 to 1 or 9 to 2, however late it goes. Those are the creative hours for me. And if I try and write outside of those hours, it doesn't get the right results.
See, I'm the not really. We've always gone to bed right around 11 because we're getting up. Well, when we were going to the office, we're getting up at 5 so I could exercise, shower at 6, and then be in the office by 7 or 7:30. So, you know, you kind of have to go to bed somewhat early to get decent sleep. Which is one of the reasons why I started taking 5-hour energy, because I was not. All of this writing shit has made me caffeine dependent.
That happens. Creeps on you pretty quickly too.
Yeah. But it's funny because on the slow days at work, those would be the days that I would be able to do thousands of words. Same thing, you know, now between meetings. Between useless meetings now, I can, and I'm like, okay, so my daytime time is when I can get the most words out.
Okay.
And yes, in the evenings, I used to be able to do more, you know, but the evenings were usually the social media stuff, and I'd get sucked into that, and then I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta get writing done. And then by then I'm tired.
You already have your schedule then. You know.
So I'm like, okay, you know, if I can take these chunks, you know, we'll have more time when he's ready, because he's a late night person. I think I'm a morning person. He's not a morning person. Oh God. He's not a morning person until he has at least 2 coffees.
Talk to him before 9 a.m.
Yeah, pretty much. But he gets up now like 7:30 or 8, even when we don't have to work it. And I'm like, you're out of your freaking mind. I'm staying in bed till 9. So, but yeah, it's like we've got to get into a groove, which will be.
Well, you know what your natural schedule is already, so that's good. And then once you have more free time, you'll be able to work that natural schedule around your other things.
Right. Exactly. You know, and at this point, I have 2 editing slots a year at this point.
Okay.
And you know, I can write much more than that, but I'm not going to race for it the way I have been, because money.
Yep.
And unless I'm bringing in enough to warrant that, I can't. You know, we have a deal that, you know,
you only spend what you bring in.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So people, if you want to get more books from both of us. So when we go to write that trilogy, it may take a little longer to get it out.
And this is why, because it costs, time constraints, all of that go into it.
Exactly.
And editing, you know, good editors are not cheap, and they have schedules, so you have to work around their schedule.
Right. And if you know, at this point, it's every 6 months. So once I'm done in October, the next book is in March.
Okay, that's
and I've got 2 vacations between that. Like, oh fuck. But as I told him, I have to get that done, because that's somebody else's paycheck.
Yes. I like that you think of it that way. I really do, because on the other side of it, as a freelancer who works with editing and cover art and ghostwriting, all that, I don't think that a lot of clients think of that, which, you know, maybe rightly so, because they're just thinking of their project. But when you do, you know, skip a booking or are late on things or drag things out, it does affect that person who is doing the work for you.
Right.
You know, and I've seen it so many times in formatting. Formatting should be a quick thing.
Yes.
And I usually quote, you know, a few hours for the job.
Yep.
And I charge by the hour. I give them a quote. This is going to be, you know, a couple hours job. And they will drag it out over a week, because they have to either, you know, go over things, look over things. They didn't get it edited, and now they see mistakes. And there's all kinds of little things that make the job take way longer than it should, which as a freelancer means I don't get paid till the job's done too.
Right.
So something that I've booked in for, a weekend job now takes 2 weeks to get paid. It's like, that's affecting a lot of stuff.
And you have done the work for them to look at. So,
and I always tell people too, on formatting jobs, editing comes first.
Yes.
This is formatting. I am not correcting your mistakes. What you give me is what I lay out. So make sure it's correct when you give it to me, because if you come back and say, this has to get changed, this has to get changed, this has to get changed. Well, on a printed book, I'm laying it out per page.
Right.
And what you cut off cuts off what's on that page, or what you add in to correct adds in on that page, which dumps more onto the next page. And it has a cascade effect.
It has a cascading effect, yes.
And I try and explain this all up front, but they're like, it's fine, it's fine. Every single time. But I'm like, little mistakes aren't bad, but there are a lot of times where those mistakes are really big ones that have to get fixed.
Well, it's like, well, if you do that, do you charge them more when they do that?
Yeah, it's a per hour charge. When I get the project, I look at the word count. I look at what type of work it is, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, because they have different formatting styles, different requirements, things like that, what images they want to insert. And I give them the quote of, this is how many hours per the format type I'm doing, whether it's ebook, print, hardbound, whatever.
Right.
And that quote usually stands with the caveat of, if things need to be changed, you will be charged per hour for the additional stuff. So it's going to cost you more money if you don't do what I'm telling you to do ahead of time. Make sure it's edited.
Yeah.
Make sure it's correct. Little things, the 2 and 3 minute, I forgot an E here or whatever. Not a problem.
Right.
But when they're changing full sentences because they're incorrect, and it's, again, that cascade effect of dumping onto another page, it's going to take more time for me to fix this and remake it. Because a lot of times with formatting, if I'm trying to get you to that bottom edge of the page, I'm using kerning to tightly get everything into that spot, and you've now made a change that dumps it all over the place.
Right.
That's a lot more work to fix.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Anita knows too. That cascade effect drives you bananas.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't just affect that page, it affects so much else.
Right, exactly. Especially, when you're formatting like special editions or something like that, and you have pictures that are in there.
God, picture wrapping and stuff. Oh, that makes it even more. But again, give the quote based on what their requirements are ahead of time. This is how many hours I expect it to take to format your work.
Right. And it's not easy, because I do a lot of my own formatting, so I absolutely know. Yes, it is. But, you've actually shown me some magical things that now I have to remember. I don't know if I will. Yep.
There are some fun tricks you learn over time. And while they do work in most cases, sometimes stupid
they
stuff.
Still don't. Yeah, exactly. So it's, the people that I use, the cover artists and stuff like that, if I contracted with them for a specific time, they're counting on that money at the time that they say, okay, this is the date that you give it to me. This is the date that I'll usually get it to you. So they know their monthly income. So all of us who have steady paychecks, which I'm not going to have that in 9 days.
You get comfortable with that steady paycheck.
Yes,
when your
money's coming in. When the money's coming in.
And you budget accordingly.
Yes. And if something, spikes or whatever, it does interrupt the money flow, even when you have a steady paycheck. But I cannot imagine what you guys go through with this as your only source of income. Source of income. It's like this.
Yeah.
And you don't know. Yep, exactly. And I have high respect for all of the independent folks, independent contractors doing that. And maybe it's because I am in the corporate world that I know it's somebody's paycheck. And I think everybody should be thinking that way. When you hire somebody, it's their paycheck. It's their livelihood. And if you waffle or decide this wasn't what you wanted, it's not necessarily their fault.
Yeah.
You need to take ownership of how you approach that too.
And initially, when I was jumping into freelancing,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do the what's the term? Booking
Prepay?
fees.
Yep.
I didn't want to do that because I felt like there's a trust in there that
Mm-hmm.
happens when you're booking with somebody.
Yeah.
But after having clients back out at the last minute, or issues that come up, I understand why people do booking fees now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is your paycheck, and when you have it on the schedule, this is coming in, this is what I'm going to work on, and you budget accordingly based on your schedule, and somebody backs out, or somebody takes, like I said, sometimes a week or longer to pay because they found a little mistake, and now they got to go back and do whatever.
Yeah.
It does affect you, and it seriously, as a freelancer, drives you insane when you're like, crap, I've got bills to pay. I had money I thought was coming in. I can't do it. How am I going to push this off?
Yeah.
And I still got to be smiling and courteous, because I don't want to piss off my clients.
Right.
But it changes your perspective after a while.
Yes, and I've paid booking fees before. Thankfully, actually, the editor that I use doesn't ask for them up front from me.
You got a relationship with her.
Yeah, and with all the editors that I've used, I think there was one time that I pushed it off, and it was only pushed off a week, and that was for extenuating circumstances at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never missed a date because I think I put that pressure on me. I don't know. It's a psychological thing with me.
You've got a good approach to working with people.
Yeah.
I wish more people had that approach. I mean, yes, there are going to be extenuating circumstances that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a lot of the clients that I've worked with for years, many of them just know to drop me a line, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Like, there's some clients that will literally just show up in my inbox and go, hey, here's a book, here's the stuff, here's what we need. Same thing as last time. Go.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with them. I've got a good relationship with them, and I jump on their work whenever they send it to me because we've got that long-term relationship. And then there are some clients where I've worked with them in the past, and I'm like, I just can't fit you in. Sorry, because it's been a poor relationship, and I don't want to get into that fight with them again.
Right. And I'm sure my editor, when I slowed things down last year, I didn't pre-schedule anything. And I had told her that the prior year, because I said, this is the year of cruises and weddings and things like that. That was before all the shit went down on the home front. So, I said, I will contact you when I have something. And then this year I said, well, I will want to book twice. And then next year I'll want to book twice. So I've done that. And after consistently doing 4 times a year and sometimes squeaking in a 5th to go down to that, I think she was kind of shocked, but it is what it is. Life got in the way, and I knew it last year.
Mm-hmm. But you are also pre-booking way in advance, allowing for scheduling changes to happen and openings to pop up if she has other clients, or so that's a good thing. You're having a good relationship with your editor. You've got a very, very respectful relationship.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I trust her. I trust her with my word.
And finding an editor you trust. That's
exactly.
One that you want to keep happy.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a great editor when we did our series. Mm-hmm. She got out of the business. She's back in it a little bit, and I had a couple books done by her. But
she had to go full time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she So she's, doing that on the side again. And it's like, I don't know how much I would go to her after having the long-term relationship with this new one that I had used a long time ago, when I was trying to find the right fit. And, she's pretty good, and she's pretty standard on when she gets it back to me. The 2 spots that I have this year were sort of open. Like, she fit me in her schedule, and she said it might take me longer. And I
Okay.
said, that's fine. So I haven't put any, pre-orders or anything out there. And the last one, she got done within a week, which is normal. And I was expecting it 3 weeks. That's the other side of the coin when you're expecting it back here and then the money has to come out here. but I'm like, okay, I can do that. So,
It's always nice, I think, when you can get something earlier than expected. But yeah, the
yeah.
payment's got to come too.
Yep, exactly.
A lot of
Exactly.
times when I work with clients, instead of a booking fee, I do a 50 up front and 50 at the end of the project.
Right.
To try and keep it as fair as possible.
Yep.
And that way the bill money isn't being held up completely.
Yes, at least some of it's there. Yes. Exactly.
But over time I've had to develop that, because initially, I worked on the honor system. Here's our contract, here's what we're going to do, and you're going to pay at the end. And I've been burned a few times on that. And I didn't want to do booking systems where they're paying up front. So, over time I've developed where I'm at now. And I think every freelancer goes through that.
Yeah.
We should put that question out to the audience. If you've worked with another freelancer, what's your experience been, and what's your preferred relationship with them?
Yes.
Because I think we all have different experiences. I mean, you and me both, we've worked on both sides of that.
Right. We have. I mean, mine's a little different. I haven't been the freelancer. I've been the publisher,
the managing editor, yeah.
The acquisitions editor and all of that stuff.
Which is a tough process too, because being able to read and have to either reject or accept things is hard to do. I don't know. I'm one of those people who I try and always want to see the best in things. I'm like, oh, this could be great.
Yeah,
never be in that position. Never put me in that position.
I mean, working at the e-Zine, that I've been working for since what? 2000, I don't know, 2010, I think I started working at Allegory. I have no idea. It's been a while. But reading through slush piles, as well as all of some of the other editing stuff and things like that. Neither do I. Yeah. I've gotten to the point where if it doesn't capture me, it's a no. Because
hard exterior.
Well, it's my time.
I get it.
Time versus, and there have been a lot of times that I have not been able to finish the story. I'm just starting to glaze over it. I'm like, that's a no. That's a no. There have been, some of the beta readings that I've done. I've given feedback, and some of the more, I should say, raw books. If the story's there, then I will actually give a little bit more of my time. Okay. And I've done that a couple times, and I really gone back and forth and helped with some, developmental edits and things like that, just because I think the story needs to be out there, but it's not there yet.
See, I like working as a developmental editor. I could never work as an acquisitions editor because, like I said, I don't have that hardness. I'm like, I can see where the story could be great. I'm such a softie at heart. I would be like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. But as a developmental editor, I wouldn't say I'm good at hurting people's feelings. I always soften the blow. But I'm like, here's where it didn't work, and here's what we could change, and here's some ideas. I'm always ready to throw the ideas out there, but I'm never one to I guess trample someone's dreams is the way I see it.
I'm a dream trampler.
Don't ever put me in that position. It's not for me. I could not work in that position at all. Never, ever, ever in a publishing house would you ever want me to be your acquisitions editor. But as your developmental editor, I have fun fixing stories.
Yes.
I like fixing stories and finding ways to make them shine.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are some things that just can't be fixed that, and I don't want to take them on because
there's a lot of rewriting that could be done, but you can fix pretty much anything.
Yes,
in my
if you had
opinion.
time, effort, and whatnot. And at that point, mind you, I'm not really getting paid a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I agree.
That it's one of the reasons why I haven't gone and said we want more, you know, submissions, because I've gotten to the point where, you know, the submissions we got were quite awful, and I'm like, yes, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. You know, I've had a handful of gems, and the earlier stuff that we got, like Bob Stewart stuff, he passed away, but his stuff was phenomenal. And I had a great relationship as his acquisitions editor and editor of his books. And he'd call from Texas because he didn't like to do things through email or talk about story through email. And he'd call from Texas with his deep Texan voice, and we'd go over stuff. And I'd ask him, and I'd say, I don't know if that will work. Why do you think it works? And he would explain, and I'm like, okay, well, I could buy that if you do this. And you know, we worked together, and you know, it wasn't me dictating. Because he, you know, in some cases he went with what I was saying, but in some cases he believed heavily in the path that he was going on, and he'd call and he'd discuss it, sort of like you and I used to do with you know, the
Yeah.
co-writing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you'd call and discuss this. No, you can't kill the puppies. But why not, Katie?
Because you just can't. Hard line. Hard line.
So you know what I mean.
But see, okay, so there you go.
Yes.
Those hard lines in the sand, though, are hard to overcome.
Yes, yes, exactly. Well, you know, you're right.
And we agreed. We thankfully agreed.
Yeah, you won. You won. You won. We didn't. I came to way around to your way of thinking.
It was the big puppy dog eyes. That's what did it.
Yes, it was. But I don't know. Yeah, being an acquisitions editor, sometimes I had somebody who didn't want to change it, and didn't want to bend, and I was like, then I can't.
It's a hard position to be in. I do not envy you. That is a difficult position
Yeah.
to be in. And again, why I can't do it.
and it's, you know, when you're doing, you know, the short fiction for the e-zine, you've got to, when you're rejecting, you've got to give them some positive spin on their work.
Oof.
Yes. I try. Yes. Sometimes it's really difficult. You know, sometimes it's more of a form letter. Yeah. Without much. But some things that I think are close and could get there, I'll give a little bit more detailed feedback and say, you know, this was why I didn't feel this made it in comparison to something that did go through. Because, I mean, you're reading dozens of things, and you're like, okay, you have like a dozen in each batch, and you're reading through them, and basically you're comparing them against each other too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just, oh, this is wonderful.
I got a very beautiful rejection recently.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find, you know, more steady work, so I don't have to constantly search for clients. And there was a company that, let's call them a book packager.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know a better word for them, but it's for ghostwriters. You know, and they get, you know, the ideas or whatever, or they work with authors and write the stuff. And I had submitted.
Yeah.
And I sent them 2 samples. They're 4,000 words each, and not quite in the genre they were looking for, but close enough that it would give them an idea of my writing style. And I sat for 2 weeks waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking, oh, they're not even going to respond to me. And they sent me back a message, and they're like, we see the value in your writing. We see that
which
you are
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we see that you research very heavily into what you're writing. It shows in the word choice and the cadence and all this. Here's some feedback from our editors who did read your submission, and there was 3 pieces of feedback. And while they weren't glowingly positive, they're very constructive.
Yeah, which is what you want anyway.
Exactly. And they're like, we don't have anything available for you at this time, but we would love to keep you on file. Yep. And so while it was a rejection, it was a very positive rejection. They obviously showed why they didn't pick me, but they were able to highlight areas that they thought might be beneficial maybe later down the road. And if I never hear from them again, I never hear from them again. But it didn't hurt as much.
Yep. Exactly.
Not as much. It was still a no, but it wasn't like a, no, it was maybe later.
Yep.
I could deal with that. And I didn't feel terrible getting that rejection. Whereas, you get an outright no.
Right. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the last book that I gave lots of feedback for before we went to Alaska. Okay. I was supposed to do some more when I got back, and I told them I just am not in the headspace after all the, shit that went down.
Yes. Understandable.
Yeah. But I'm hoping to see that published someday. Okay. Hoping, he does it independently or whatever, but initially he got, all these, glowing feedback from family writers out there. Family can be your best cheerleaders and your worst critics, because they will not be honest with you.
Yeah. Yep. Family's afraid to tell you the truth. And right. I get it. Okay. As a mom, and you know this as a mom too.
I've never been I've never been easy on Billy. He will tell you that.
I know. But when you see the potential in your children and they can do good things, you want to foster that. And sometimes we embellish because we want to foster that spirit. We want to make sure that they know they can do. But when it comes to saying the negative stuff, I think we also know how hard they can take it, and we don't want to deal with the fallout. So sometimes we don't give them 100% truth. I'm guilty of that sometimes. My kids are wonderful. My kids are talented. My kids are great. They still need to grow.
Yep.
But they're talented. They're good. They still need to grow.
I still think the best thing that we did together, my son and I, was write those books, because I made him sit down, and as we're doing the scenes, I probed for things. I probed for, different senses and stuff like that. And I've given him feedback on his writing, and he has taken it and put it into effect. And he knows he knows when I look at something and say, this is good, that it's good. He knows I'm not sugarcoating it, because it would be, this is good, but this is good.
and I think because he had a love of writing and a desire to write that worked.
Yes.
Remember, I turned my oldest daughter completely off of writing. She absolutely hates it.
Yes.
Because I think I went too hard initially with her.
Okay.
Which is why I'm a little softer with my younger ones. But yeah. After a while, Allie wouldn't show me anything, because she's like, no, I'm not. You're just going to ask me too many questions. You're just going to redline everything. I'm like, help. So yeah, I'm a lot softer with my little ones.
Yeah. Well, I never sugarcoated it for my writers. Why would I sugarcoat it for my son?
So I will say, who did Allie turn to when she needed to write her scholarship paper?
You. Yep. Yeah. I mean, well, he hasn't written. He didn't do any writing while he was laid off. He couldn't go into the office, he said. So I was like sad when I heard that. And he's like, well, Steph's in there working, and my keyboard clacks away. So I didn't want to. He started to make excuses like that. I'm like, you could have used this time to finish it.
That keyboard clacking. Okay, question for the audience out there again. because I'm notorious. I have to hear the clacking of the keys. I don't know if it's because I'm older generation or what, but the clacking of the keys is partially motivating for me. So I have the loudest keyboard in the house. I love my mechanical keys. You can hear me typing.
Yes. He was like, I didn't want to be in there typing while she was working. My keyboard is loud. Like, okay.
I tried using a soft touch keyboard. I'm like, what is going on? This doesn't feel right. I don't like it. No.
I just want something nice and smooth, and it doesn't have to make sounds.
No. Oh, here, let's see if I can do this.
Yeah, I can hear that. And me?
I love that sound. I love it.
Mine doesn't make any sound.
Oh, see that? I need the feedback. It's partially motivating to hear the clack of the keys. And maybe I'm an outlier in this, but I think a lot of writers like that typewriter feel almost. A question for the audience out there. Post it in the comments.
Yes. Oh my, yeah. No, I don't like clacking. I would just rather have it be silent, but that's me.
And what's funny is, we touch type. We've typed for so long, where the keys are. But if I can't hear the feedback, I can't touch type anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I have to constantly look down because I'm like, where are my fingers going if I don't hear it?
Hold on. My keyboard?
Oh no, I couldn't type on that.
See,
I like how the letters are rubbed off.
Yeah, the letters are rubbed off, and people who don't know the letters, the S, the D, the C, the V, the N, and the M are pretty much rubbed off. And when somebody who doesn't know how to type is looking at this, where is that letter? I'm like, it's right there.
Anita says she likes the clacking but doesn't need it to write. Okay, maybe I'm just a weirdo. The OCD thing.
Yeah. Well, and you seem to have a sound, auditory motivation.
I do very much so. I listen to music to set the tone. I listen to I do
Lord of the Rings to write to.
It helps, okay? I cannot explain why, but Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy, those two trilogies are so good for my writing.
Okay.
And I've seen them so many times, I don't have to look at the screen to know what's going on. I can visualize the scenes in my head. But it helps. It really does. I got so much work done in one night. I amazed myself. I was like, wow. Looked at the clock, like it's only been a couple hours and I got so much. How did this happen? I haven't had a good night like this in forever.
And that's always motivating. What was it? The 2 times ago that we were, lamenting about why are we doing this?
We were in fuck it mode. We're like, you know what? Fuck it all.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah. And I know some people, I've seen some of the other writers that I know going through the same motions recently. I don't know if it's, retrograde or whatever the hell's going on in the astrical framework.
Yeah, Mars retrograde and Cancer happening. Oh my God, that's gonna.
But it's just like, it's just. It's
I have to stop looking at the stars, man. I can't look at them anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I still enjoy looking at that kind of stuff, just not for myself because it's just too depressing.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on mine, but
I'll have to take a look at yours. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You and your husband, I love how you and your husband are mirror opposites of each other. It's so funny. I don't think I've ever seen a couple that was like that much mirror opposites. Like it's a perfect blend. Love that.
Yep. And it's weird that we have common ground, but we do like I mean, he loves sports. I'm like let's record that.
No, but when I say mirror opposites, it's funny because like your first house, the house of the self, is his 7th house, the house of the other. Your house of personal finance is his house of outside resources. It's like it's perfectly balanced. How does that work?
I don't know.
I've never seen a couple's chart work like that. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, we complement each other.
Yeah, and that's what you want, really, in a relationship. You want complimenting. You don't want same. You want complimenting, because where one has an issue, the other can pick up, and be supportive, and it balances. And that's ultimately what you're looking for, is balance.
Yes. I wish he liked some of the, Comic-Con crap that I like. He doesn't.
But that allows you space to explore your own interests.
Right, exactly. And I could care less about sports. I could care less about golfing. I suck at it. I can't hit the ball too far. My little T-Rex arms that we laugh about. So
I love it.
And he's been exceptionally supportive 99% of the time of this writing journey that I've been on.
Okay.
There are times he gets, hey, what about me? And he's right, because if I'm heads down focused on writing, I'm ignoring the rest of the world, including him, which isn't fair in a marriage. And that's why we've been together for 35 years, because there's a give and take.
And he can. But that's what you want, though. You want that balance to happen.
Yep. And lately I've been more with him and having fun and not focusing on writing. And I think now that I'm sitting down at the computer, he's getting irritated. But it's like, I promised you when we retire that I'm going to have a set hours of doing this. I won't be sitting with the computer on my lap 24/7 like I am now. But when I have that time, you can't all of a sudden say, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me with this? Hey,
that's true. That's true. You got to have your balance.
So, or, hey, can I use your computer? No. So it's just like, yes. Oops. Katie, where'd she go? Oh no. Where did Katie go? I have no idea where she went. I'm wondering if Vegas got power outage. So let's see. Hold on. Because we only have 8 minutes left. And yes, it's me alone. Let's see. Did you lose power? I know. Let's see. Well, I'm sure she won't get the text because I've been texting her for whatever. But let's see. I can't comment here. Where did you go, Katie? Yes, I growled and she ran away. I growled and you ran away. The cosmic void ain't Katie.
I hate when that happens.
Did you hit the wrong button?
I did. I hit the wrong button. I was like, what did I do?
I'm like either that or it was like the other day, the last time when your power went out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if her power went out. Yeah, somebody hit a station or something.
Yeah, they hit like a transformer, knocked in. Like almost all of Henderson went out. Yes. It was both cable and power.
Yep.
Like for 4 hours, I'm sitting here and my phone was dying, so I couldn't even like send a message.
Yep.
What the hell?
And we actually had a guest that night.
There's a first for everything, Regine.
Yes.
First for everything.
Yes. Well, at least it wasn't like 10 minutes into the show and I just rambled for an hour like I did on Josh's show that time.
And my screen went dark. I'm like, what did I do? Hold on. What are you?
Come back. Yeah, I'm like, oh, where'd she? I'm big in the screen. Shit, I don't want to look at my face. I don't want to sit here looking at me having a hot flash. which is what I'm having right now. I'm like, it's got to be like 110 this year.
Oh,
It's
don't
not.
talk to me about
It's
heat.
not.
I
It's
saw a
not.
perfect meme today. It was like,
Yeah.
it's almost fall. You know what that means? We live in Vegas. It's still 108 degrees. Doesn't mean shit.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's chilly out tonight, but
The AC in my car no longer works.
look.
And you know my windows are broken too, so I can't even roll the windows down.
Oh my God, that's like being in a tin can. It actually is it's actually in a steel can.
The drive to pick Hunter up from school only takes 15 minutes. I have to change clothes afterwards because I am dripping with sweat just from that 15-minute round the block to go pick Hunter up from school.
Why don't you just leave the back? Because you have a van, right?
Yeah.
Does the back go up?
The wing windows are open.
Okay.
But that doesn't do anything but exhaust air. And I have the blower on as high as it'll go. But
and you can't drive with the back up?
I am still dripping with sweat in that 15-minute drive every single day. And every time I get into the car, I'm like, winter's coming. Winter's coming. Winter's coming.
Yes.
Because I spent $2,500 in December just to get the car running again.
Right.
And I still haven't recovered from that.
Right.
Allie, in her trying to be helpful, found me a mechanic to go see that was supposed to do a free AC check, and it was a visual check when we got down there. I'm like, yeah, there's an AC. Yeah, it ain't working. Yeah, $200 if they had to plug anything in. I was like, I can't even afford that right now.
Right.
I appreciate her effort. She was trying. God love her for it. But
it's an unorthodox weight loss program. You just have to make sure you have ice water so you don't dehydrate on that thing.
I'm like literally sweat pouring down my face as I'm like fighting with out of school traffic, which if you're a mom out there, you know what slow motion demolition derby, the get out of school traffic is.
Yes.
Just dripping with it's the worst part of my day. It's the worst part of my day. And every day I get in the car and I'm going, winter's coming. Winter's coming. I can last. Winter's coming.
Yeah, how hot is it in the car? Like 120 degrees?
Yeah, I can get up to 120 degrees. On average, my car's registering between 111 to 115.
Yeah, but that's still like cooking weather.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
No,
I can't afford. I can't afford to fix it right now.
I know, and even if you have, ice, well, actually, it wouldn't be ice anymore. It would.
I do have my steel double-walled. Water. Yeah, I bring those, so I have cold water. Yes.
Good.
But it's not a fun drive every day.
No.
And
no, I mean, if your windows could go down, it would be a little bit better, but.
Yeah, but I have my windows held up by suction cups because I have fixed those windows 5 different times and they've broken because while the wire that controls the movement is metal, it's connected by plastic connectors that melt in the heat. And so it's broken 5 different times. So I have literally suction cups holding the windows up. So I can't roll my windows down.
Oh, God.
This is my life, people. This is my life.
Buy her books, people.
Oh, Regine sounds like he knows. They are. But why would you make plastic connectors?
Right. Especially for cars in Nevada.
I look too for different brands to buy because I know how to rip the door open. I've ripped the door open so many times to fix the stupid windows. I know how to do it. I could probably do it blindfolded at this point.
You could be a mechanic.
Every time I put them in, I get maybe 6 months because as soon as we hit summer, they fail.
Yeah.
And I'll be driving down the road and all of a sudden, thunk, the window falls down. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're kidding me! I have these industrial sized suction cups. I have 3 of them.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that.
Winter's coming though.
Winter is coming. Yes.
That is what I say every day. Winter is coming.
Yep. Yep, the pumpkin spice is out now, so
Oh,
winter is not far behind. I
pumpkin
don't
spice.
I don't like anything pumpkin
Yeah,
spice.
no, thank you. But
No.
more power to you if you do like it. That's good.
I know. I like the peppermint stick, so
Oh, give me peppermint anything. Yes,
yes, yep.
my favorite.
So Christmas will be coming soon too.
I'm actually looking forward to Christmas this year. We I don't know if I told you last year, we did kind of a mix of a white elephant game show kind of Christmas.
Yep,
So you spend no more than $5 on gifts. And
yep.
they can be anything from like cute little things to toilet paper.
Okay.
We wrapped cans of Red Bull at one point. That's a great gift for me, by the way.
Yes.
And we played stupid games. And so now we're calling it $5 Christmas.
Oh, I like
And that's
that.
what
That's
we're planning.
fun.
Yeah, that's what we're planning for this year. Nobody's buying expensive gifts. Even the kids are in on it too.
Good.
So they're not expecting a big, huge Christmas. Everybody knows we're broke this Christmas. We're playing $5 Christmas, and we're going to have just a fun day of playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes.
That'll be fun.
I'm so happy the kids are in on it. Like
Yes.
that like makes me feel so good that my two littlest are like, yeah, let's do this. And they're going to have fun going to
Yeah.
Five Below with me to find stupid $5 gifts.
Right. Exactly. That sounds wonderful.
There's no stress. Nobody has any pressure put on them to get anything cool. In fact,
Yeah.
the stupider the gift, the better, because it makes it fun when they unwrap it.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone's just going to have a fun, relaxed Christmas day. We're planning on inviting my ex-husband so that we don't have to do a split Christmas.
Right. Yep.
It's going to be my daughter, her husband, their family. Like, we're going to just have a fun Christmas.
Which is Christmas is supposed to be about family anyway.
Yes, not my family though.
Well, no, I know. I know. Family is relative.
Yes, the good people in the family.
Yes.
We're all good.
Yes, family doesn't necessarily mean blood either. So
no, that's true. In fact, a lot of the best family you find are not blood.
Right. Exactly. And on that note,
yes, we have been an hour already. This has been a very fast hour.
Yes, it has.
I think we had some good conversation here.
Yeah.
And I want to put something out there to our audience. If you have any topics that you would like us to talk about, put them in the comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We do plan on bringing some more guests in again. Yes. We haven't done that in a while. Right. Our schedule is still going to be roughly once to twice a month because, life is life.
Schedules are crazy until November.
But we do hope to be back next week, and then we'll be back again in October.
Yep.
And let us know what you want to talk about.
Yes.
And until then, we'll see you guys later.
Catch you later.
Keep on writing.